We're now with John Distelzweig from FLIR. He's just come straight from the arena. How was it in there?
Oh, it was brilliant. It was great. I enjoyed it very much.
What insights can you give us from what happens within there? It feels very VIP in there.
Well, we had some presentations, had some interviews, spoke a lot about our partnership with Red Bull and the history of that, and how we do the things we do for them.
Well, let's get into the meat of it. How do you think the teams at FLIR and Aston Martin Red Bull Racing work together to make a partnership a success?
You know, it's tight collaboration, particularly on the development side, supporting the development of the race car. The pace is very high, and we get our engineers and their engineers involved very early on, and it's not a normal product release kind of a process, right? It's every 2 weeks they want something new. There needs to be a roadmap, let's say, and it's not sort of your 9-month releases like we're used to in the product world. It's sort of weekly. So it challenges our engineers. It's a great environment for our young engineers. I think the specifications that we get from them are always, you know, at first blush they look impossible, and there's a bit of negotiation typically, but it's about, you know, developing a platform that can sustain continued development, which is also a good practice, I think, you know, for development in general. It's just sort of a highly accelerated or compressed, you know, version of that.
How do you see that partnership developing?
You know, it's hard to say. It started 5 years ago. They were a customer. And then we took the next step and became a technical partner, an innovation partner, developing primarily products to support the development of the car, both at the track and in the factory. And over time, it's expanded to all portions of their business. FLIR obviously has a very, you know, broad set of products, including security, but our thermography, our temperature measurement, test and measurement type devices are used all over their factory. The data center, for example, any of their manufacturing processes that need monitored from a thermal perspective, they use a lot of that equipment as well. And then last year, they looked to upgrade the CCTV system, the security of the factory, and it was a logical fit. So, you know, over time it's just sort of expanded, and we'll see. Let's see what's next.
We'll talk about challenges. You've touched on some of those in your answers already, but has the Aston Martin Red Bull Racing partnership presented any unique challenges or opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, probably the biggest thing is the pace, the rate at which development has to happen. I think the ultimate goals in terms of what a product needs to do. So, you know, I feel like it's a challenge, but it's good, it's healthy, you know, and I feel like from a cultural perspective, FLIR is an innovation company, and the value that we place on innovation and the requirements that they have, that you have that sort of culture as a support mechanism for them, I think it's healthy for everybody.
Let's talk trends then next, and what trends are you seeing from clients in general at the moment?
You know, I think in video, it's really about managing the mass of the video. I mean, now we have megapixel, megapixel cameras. We're recording everything everywhere. The number of cameras, you know, on a network is increasing. So, you know, it's creating actionable data, really decision-making support, rather than just forensic video. In the forensic video environment, there are more and more clever ways to search through the content, but from FLIR's perspective, and with our legacy, you know, in the military space, we're really about real time. You know, what can be done to support the appropriate decision making in the moment. And I think from our perspective, that's a trend that we see in the industry, and it's an area that we're very interested in.
And what are the most common application use cases for thermal?
In security, it's generally a lack of light, right? So in long-range scenarios where active illumination is not practical, in high-consequence situations where, you know, regardless of weather or lighting conditions, we have to get to the ground truth. I mean, this is really where, you know, where we shine. We're here at this event. We're actually launching a new product that we're trying to bring that same sort of real-time decision support down. Let's say down market into a more commercial environment, being able to do what we do for a nuclear power plant, for example, for a lumber yard or for an auto dealership, to protect outdoor assets at night in a situation where it's just not feasible to put up fences or it's inappropriate, to basically be able to monitor in a wide area with thermal imaging in all conditions, run video analytics in the camera, and really give the actionable you know, data at the moment.
And how is the thermal image technology developing?
You know, just like any other silicon wafer production process, the goal is always to fit more devices in a wafer. So in general, that means smaller pixels, which is a challenge in any type of imaging, but particularly in thermal imaging, we have the wavelength of light that we're seeing is significantly longer than what you'd have in a visible camera. 12 times, actually, a longer wavelength. So the actual physical limit to the size of the pixels is sort of in the 10 micron area. When you look at a visible camera now on a cell phone, it's sub 1 micron. So in order to get the resolutions that customers are used to from the visible space, we're always pushing for smaller and smaller pixels. But that comes with penalties in terms of sensitivity. So all of our heavy R&D is around maintaining and clawing back performance that's lost as the pixel size shrinks, and video processing techniques to really improve the signal-to-noise ratio of what you get from the raw sensor. And I think today in the stand with the Ceros product, we're taking a QQVGA sensor and using our technologies for noise reduction and super resolution, we're creating a megapixel video out of it. So this is sort of our challenge, is to fight physics effectively and deliver the type of performance that customers are used to.
Now, you've made some important alliances along the way with big players in the drones market. What are your plans in this area?
So it's about a two-pronged kind of a strategy there. We have our own nano drone platform, so very, very small, comes from the military side of our business, very lightweight, actually under the threshold that would be required for permitting purposes. So in the future, I think we'll see in the perimeter market our ability to bring drones into that space that are essentially intrinsically safe. They could hit a human, they could be ingested by an aircraft, no harm, no foul, but still be able to, again, create that real-time actionable data when you have an alarm event, to be able to send instantly, a nano drone to go evaluate the situation and report back to a command center where a decision can be taken. I mean, I think that's really the future of where this is going. On the other side, we have sensors, and we have partnerships with airframe manufacturers in the larger class airframes, and anything from a DJI drone, up to a military type drone. And in general, one of our sort of core expertise, let's say, is in miniaturization. So size, weight, and power is a mantra at FLIR, and that obviously aligns very well, with unmanned airframes. So I think there's a natural fit there.
Almost there. We've just got this final one for you. Again, you have touched on this already, but it's about what you're showcasing here at IFSEC this year.
Yeah, so we've got a series of upgrades to our existing infrastructure products. We have an exciting new wearable camera for security guards, effectively, or any first responder, with the ability to stream back to our United VMS product and a real-time, again, situational awareness type of application. And then we have the Ceros, the first camera in our Ceros line, which we talked about quite a bit in the keynote, which is really, like I said, to sort of bring the best of breed from the large infrastructure projects, down into the commercial space.
Great, listen, it's fantastic to speak to you. It's great to hear all the innovations that are happening in your area of the industry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.